Hello, everyone. It's Charlton, and I want to update you on this missing 6-year-old boy with autism who went missing. I think it's almost 5 days ago. He went missing on Saturday around 2 p.m., and he was at the park with his father, Rankin Lake Park. It's in Gastonia County in North Carolina. And to the best of my knowledge, they were walking around the lake. He was with his father and another adult. And the first story I heard was that he had took off running into the woods, and his father and the other adult chased after him, but they didn't never caught up to him, and they lost sight of him and never found him. But I did see a report here that reportedly he was running after a male jogger, and that supposedly his father said he's done, he's done that before. He's severely autistic. He's to the point where he doesn't speak. He's nonverbal. But supposedly his father says he's chased after people before. He didn't think anything of it at the time until he lost sight of them, and then he was never able to catch up and find him. And I think some are launching, putting the suspicion towards the father. The authorities haven't suggested whether or not there's foul play or not. They're being very tight-lipped about it, and that's what I was looking for when I was searching through the various reports that are out there. There are 24 different law enforcement agencies assisting in the search. I don't fully understand that, but I guess it's just multiple counties. The FBI is helping in the search by now, and they're asking for the public's help. There is a $10,000 reward out there for this. In this report, the mother made a plea to anybody who has any information, please come forward. So, but we still don't know if they still think this is some kind of bad accident where he's just missing and can't find his way back, or whether they suspect that somebody has abducted him, or whether they suspect the family in some way. Even though it was as I understand it, he was with his father and another adult. That other adult hasn't been identified. I don't know if that's a girlfriend or what. But the mother wasn't at the park with the child when he went missing, and but there are accounts of other people being there, and they just want anyone who might have seen something that day to come forward. So, but they specifically asked for Chief Helton asked a professional photographer who was seen at the park that day to reach out to police. He said a white man in his early 30s was taking pictures of 3 white children holding balloons and dressed in Dr. Seuss costumes. Chief Helton said he'd like to talk to the parents of those kids who were also there, as well as a male jogger who was nearby. I don't know if that's the jogger who reportedly, according to the father, the boy was chasing after, or what. I just don't know. Gastonia Fire Chief Phil Welsh said specialty teams, helicopters, and drones were being used in the search. The Charlotte Fire Department brought in its sonar boat and dive team. Federal FBI Supervisor Jason Calpin said a $10,000 reward was being offered in this case, and he warned the public about spreading rumors on social media. If you don't see the information coming from the official source, such as Gastonia Police or the FBI, I really think it's irresponsible for you to continue to push that message out, he said. Chief Helton confirmed that there was a delay in the time when Maddox went missing and when police were called to the park. Investigators said Maddox's father lost track of his son around 1:30 p.m., but dispatch records show officers weren't called until 2:33 p.m. Okay. So he went missing around 1:30, and dispatch records show officers weren't called until 2:30. I don't find that to be terribly unusual. I mean, you would look for the child yourself for quite a while, for an hour before finally saying I need to call the police. That excuse me. So a part-time park employee was the one that actually reported this. Chief Helton said he realized, hey, we need to get the police out here, and was good enough to go ahead and make that call. Police Helton reiterated that an Amber Alert had not been issued for Maddox because the case does not meet the criteria, because he reportedly wasn't abducted, and because of that he didn't meet the no Amber Alert was ever issued. So right now they have over the loudspeakers, I think, throughout that park, Rankin Lake Park, they have his mother's voice, calling out to the child, hoping to lure the child out of the woods if he's somewhere and scared. Or I mean, we're at day 5 now. It's quite it's it's just definitely there's some I just don't know what's going on, and I think people are wondering why hasn't he turned up by now. So I think they're actually going door to door at this point. Here is the mother earlier today pleading for anyone with knowledge to come forward. I'll play that quickly in a minute. And here's also a former FBI agent who lives in the area, who's not involved in the search, but just giving his opinion on the matter. And he's saying that, it says a former FBI assistant director said the FBI likely knows much more than it's going to admit publicly in the case of a 6-year-old boy who vanished Saturday. He basically goes on to say, I'll let him say it. I'll play it in a second. That they're looking at everything, whether it's the family members, possibility of abduction, so forth. So. Let me, I think I'll play the mother real quick and then play that report. It's definitely, I think that I'm pretty sure they've, searched that lake pretty thoroughly by now. I mean, that was my initial thought that because the report was that he ran into the woods, but now supposedly he ran after the jogger. But, my fear was that he made his way into the water, couldn't swim, being severely autistic, and that's what I thought would have happened. But I'm fairly certain they would have searched that body of water pretty thoroughly by now. Into day 5. Let me play a little portion of this and some of that report too, real quick.
Hi, my name is Carrie Ritch. I'm Maddox Ritch's mother. I just want to thank each and every person who has reached out to me about Maddox wanting to help find him. I would appreciate it if you were at the park Saturday and saw Maddox. So please, urgently, please, call the tip line, please. Continue praying for him because I just want my baby home, please. Whatever you can do. Maddox is my whole world and my reason for living. He's Mama's boy. Maddox loves the park, he loves bouncy balls, and he loves his teddy bear. His smile is so contagious, and his laughter is so precious. If you think that you have seen Maddox, please reach out to police. Thank you all for your love and support, and I just want to say, I want my baby back in my arms.
He's concerned for the 6-year-old's safety.
You wonder how a child can wander off and not be quickly retrieved or found by whoever was with the child, the adults that are with the child. It begs the question, was there any involvement on the part of the parents? I'm sure they're looking at it very closely.
Investigators are searching Gaston County for the missing child, who's autistic and nonverbal.
I think that we're not going to rule out anything.
FBI agents on scene say they're considering every possibility, but they won't say much more than that.
They're gonna hold things very close to the vest. They know a lot right now, and I'm sure they have a pretty good sense of what's going on here.
Channel 9 has been on scene at Rankin Lake Park as officers canvass the area, Swecker said the door-to-door operation suggests the FBI is suspicious.
Those that are in proximity to an abduction, if this was in fact an abduction, that I'm sure they're looking at that very, very closely. So this is one of those cases where you haven't ruled out the parents, but you also haven't ruled out a flat-out abduction, and particularly by people in the general area that know the park well.
Swecker said time is the enemy in cases like this one. Like most of us at home, he's growing.
Days doing all they can do. The least we could do is say thank you.
In an interview with People magazine published Tuesday night, Maddox's father maintains his innocence despite public admonishment, saying Maddox has taken off running before, so when the 6-year-old began tailing a jogger Saturday, he didn't think much of it. That is, until he lost sight of his son. But investigators are not giving up. They continue to search tirelessly, conducting now hundreds of interviews. Maddox's mother's voice calling out to him, playing on a loudspeaker through the night. Man, that sound is just haunting to me. Maddox was last seen wearing an orange shirt that says, "I'm the man" on it. There is going to be at 7:30 tomorrow.
All right, so you know, that's the story there for now, and as soon as there's something new, you know, I'll make an updated video, and hopefully this young boy will turn up. I don't know. I just don't know. Like many of these situations, it's just hard to know. All right, well, that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.